You've tuned in to the Top 10 Gardener with garden expert Ken Lain. Join him daily as he answers timely garden questions that are sure to make a difference in your gardens. Now welcome your host, Ken Lain.
And we are back with Lisa Waters Lain in the studio. She comes each week and just shares her garden perspective, what she's seeing, what flowers are tickling her fancy. Is that even a garden saying? I don't know. Can flowers tickle your fancy?
Why not?
Sure. It seems fanciful to me.
I agree.
All right. Lisa, welcome in the studio.
Thank you.
So what do you got for us? What are you sharing? What insights can you give the listeners as they tune in or watch?
So it's here. It's happening. Trucks have arrived.
Oh yeah, the plants are coming. They're in rotation. Man, they're coming like crazy.
The last few weeks were like, trucks are coming. They're coming. Yeah. And now it's like, they're here. Yeah. So we finally gotten some trucks of new spring stuff in, which is always fun and exciting. And then one of the plants, I brought some nice samples for those that are watching. Get to see some samples of some Lenten roses or Hellebores, which are actually a great perennial for here. It's a nice little, gets maybe 1 to 2 foot tall maximum.
Below knee high.
Yeah. They do like a little bit of a shadier spot, especially in the heat of the summer, but they're actually an evergreen perennial, which is very unusual for around here. But I brought some in.
You're showing them off. This is the benefit. So just so you folks that are tuned in, so this is broadcast over terrestrial airwaves, traditional radio airwaves, and then it's also streamed by podcast forms. We break up each segment. So Apple and Spotify folks, you get to watch the video piece of this. Oh, while you're looking at that, could you do us a favor? Do us a just like, follow, do all that kind of stuff, because we're the little player. We're going up against some big boys, but our ratings go up. Google ranks us higher if you actually like what you're watching. Yeah, just like, would you please just like us?
Tell everyone.
Anyway, you're showing off the Lenten rose or Hellebore.
Yeah, so we've got, I think, 4, maybe 5 different varieties in. This is their ice series.
Yeah,
and you can see it's a very variegated kind of a cream and burgundy color. Absolutely gorgeous.
And loaded with more buds to come. So this thing's in bloom and gonna bloom more.
Right. It's not done by any stretch of the imagination.
Try not to cover up your face on the camera.
Sorry. It's fine. Go ahead. But just a beautiful little early blooming plant for you, especially those people that just are like, I need some color. This is perfect for that. It gives you that early color.
That folks don't, maybe new to the area. So if you're new to gardening, so this is a winter crop. We don't have these in the spring and summer season.
Right.
They come late winter, very early spring, because they bloom very early. And if snow gets on this, it doesn't care. It blooms longer. It loves the cold. We had a winter blooming jasmine in bloom in our house.
Yeah.
Where we were dusting the snow off this last week, and underneath it's in bloom. It's loving. Right. Winter bloomers love this kind of weather that we have.
So this gets down to -20.
Yeah.
Which if it ever gets down to -20, I'm moving.
Never seen that. Yeah. As soon as we do
so
that.
Yes, it can take the cold and keep on going. So that's a real pretty color. This one is a really nice dark Merlot color. It hardly shows up. It's so dark on there, but you can kind of see the
I would
center.
call that black. It's beautiful. Wow.
They call it Merlot.
Okay.
But isn't that pretty? I see the two together.
The yellow stamens coming out of the flower.
Right.
Just so beautiful, the contrast. And you could plant these together in the same container. Let's say a container or raised bed to the front edge, because they're going to get, 1.5 foot tall and just get nice, full, evergreen foliage.
Right.
Oops.
We have a ivory one that would be super attractive to put those two together in a
black
pot.
And white. I'm talking to men now. Black flowers and white flowers together, because that's a black flower. Come on.
It's Merlot.
Okay.
It's a nice Merlot. And then just one more, just because they're so pretty. You got to show them off. Definitely a nice color right now.
Yeah, this has got, let me just describe it so it's not boring for you folks driving down the highway just listening to us. This has got like 7, 8 blooms in full bloom right now. It's got a green foliage that's like leathery leaf, which makes it very robust in the dry climate. So needs some shade, but it loves the dryness that we have, and it will bloom like this. It's got, baseball-sized flowers. A dozen of them are going to come up. blooms like this for an extremely long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's done, you pinch the flowers off, and then it just has this beautiful
Foliage.
Be
Mm-hmm.
great with heaths and heathers,
Oh, yeah.
lily of the valley. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these kind of companion perennials. This is perennial country like
Sure.
I've never seen. So perennials grow better here than other parts of the country because we don't get disease.
Right.
And the beauty with this, animals don't eat them. So they don't, deer, rabbits, you folks out in the valley areas, the antelopes are becoming a problem. They're not going to bother Linton rose or hellebores.
Mm-hmm. Same thing. Same critter. Hellebore and Linton rose are the same plant. Some people get confused, so I just thought I would.
Hellebore is botanical, and the common name is Linton rose.
Right.
And sometimes we call it Linton rose hellebore, just to include it all in there. So it's this, I would say February's companion plants, one of the key plants of February.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see them now through, as soon as this crop's done, maybe middle of March, you won't see them again
even if
until
that
next year.
long.
Yeah.
So I would say if it's something you're interested in, it's definitely one you want to check out. Don't come to me in May and go, where's all the Linton rose?
I personally hope they're all gone by this weekend. So.
So definitely. Also, we did get in, they're not blooming and they're just kind of in the pot right now. But if you want to get them planted, some peonies. We got some Sarah Bernhardt's. We got the red and the pink, and those are just the start. We'll definitely get more in.
Oh, yeah.
But great time to plant. Absolutely great time to plant because they are they're starting to wake up. Their little eyes are there, but they're still very dormant. So get them planted. You get to enjoy the blooms this year. You get to enjoy the foliage. So it's a great time to
That's one of those, if you're new to the area, new to gardening and garden centers, these are very limited crops. We have to guesstimate that, like those Linton roses, those are 3 years old. We had to guess 3 years ago how many we would actually sell and then bring them in. Peonies, those are like 5-year crops. Mm-hmm. So you get the Ito peonies, those are 5 years old at the farm before we bring them in. And we're guessing 5 years ago how many you all would buy out in the public. So when you see them, peonies especially, they don't look like much. So, but they're going to have this fragrant bloom that just like your grandmother had, they're going to have that. Mm-hmm. If you wait until they're in bloom, there won't be any left because every cart has, as soon as they crack color, every cart's got one on it. So you want to catch them early so you get prime time, the best color selections, than rather than waiting till end of April when they bloom.
Right. So now we got the Sarah Burkhart red and pink, and then we got the Shirley Temple, which I think is real pretty. It's kind of a white with a blush touch to it. It's very, very pretty out there. We also got in some lilac. So it's the start of lilac season. So we definitely got some of those guys coming in. We have the Angel, which is, I love a white lilac. I know it's not the traditional. We have a white one at our house, and I just love it. So we have the Angel, which is the white. We have Sensation, which is another real pretty one. It has that variegated purple with white around the edge of the bloom. Very, very pretty.
Quite striking. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're going to cut it off and bring it in a vase or something. Oh, it's beautiful.
Definitely. Blue Skies, which is a very light lilac color. It's not dark purple, but it's very, very pretty.
Like a sky.
Ooh, like a blue sky?
Blue sky. It shows up better from across the landscape. So you're looking across to your landscape.
The lighter color.
I like that lighter color shows up better than dark purple, some of that. Mm-hmm. So from a design standpoint, that's how you use those.
Mm-hmm. We also got Pocahontas, and
that's a traditional,
one or two other ones.
Yeah.
But there again, what a great time to get them in because you get to enjoy the blooms on them. Your neighbors get to enjoy your blooms on them, and you're not looking at somebody else's going, oh, I need a lilac. I should go plant one. We also got a couple of different magnolias in.
Oh, that's neat.
The Elizabeth, what they think is yellow, and I forget the other one, but I'm pretty sure it's pink. Rosemary.
Oh, gotcha.
So we got those two. So those are ones that bloom in the spring. They bloom before they put their leaves on. So they're gorgeous when they're blooming. And then when they're done blooming, they put their leaves on and you enjoy them for the rest of the season.
So there's two types of magnolias. You southern folks, you think there's only a southern magnolia. It's got to be an evergreen with a white saucer-shaped flower. It's actually the prettier ones. The hardier ones are deciduous. That is, they lose their leaves in the winter. Then they get the bright flowers, much more fragrant than the traditional southern magnolias. Mm-hmm. So you've got both. And again, those are more animal resistive than some of your others. If you're in that wildland interface, you've got deer going through there. I don't know about elk. deer that keep javelina is not going to bother them.
Right.
Personal experience. So with that, we're out of time. I know you got a whole list of plants that
It's
are here,
okay.
but they'll have to come in
You
and
have to
just
come in.
Yeah, when the snow clears, just come and visit and get your garden fix. Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back. Water's garden companions of February are peony, Calgary carpet juniper, pinyon pines, and lily of the valley.
Lily of the Valley is a gorgeous shrub that loves growing in the summer shade.
This bold evergreen delights with dramatic, fiery growth in spring.
Fragrant wedding cake layers of white flowers hover on graceful arching stems.
Each dainty flower is utterly detestable to deer and javelina.
Shop the most perennial shrubs in Prescott by store or online at watersgardencenter.com. You're listening to garden expert Ken Lain, owner of Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Look for more tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts through Ken's website. Additional shows of this podcast, read his weekly garden column, or follow him on Facebook, Instagram at watersgardencenter.com. That's Waters with 2 T's, gardencenter.com.